How's it going, guys? Bringer Platoon here, and welcome back to another great set of games in World of Tanks Xbox One Edition. Today is going to be a great example of what the AMX 30B is capable of, which is exactly what I'll be driving. It is a Tier 10 French medium tank, and it is still quite underwhelming with its 8 degrees of gun depression, relatively 300 millimeters of mantlet, not even full turret, just mantlet armor, and that overwhelmingly huge Commander's Cupola. It does have some good uses, however, they are very hard to take advantage of because of the mediocre gun depression you get, and really the only thing you can do with them, well, I guess I should tell you what the strengths are that I'm talking about first. The plate in the lower front half, the lower front upper plate of the AMX 30B, give me 1 second, I actually have to look it up on tanks.gg for this, is 55 millimeters thick. If you angle that around a corner, people will not be able to pin it. However, if they aim at your lower plate, yeah, they're gonna hit that every single time because one, it's huge, and two, it's only 55 millimeters thick, and you need auto ricochet angles to have people bounce off that. The upper plate is only 40 millimeters thick, so again, if they have a big caliber gun, they're going to hit that and overmatch it every time. And of course, I'm talking about things like an E100, even a E75, or Russian Tier 9, well, even Tier 8 Russian tanks, anything with 121 millimeters in caliber or more. It's a sad story. It really is. And if, I don't know what the fuck this lightweight is doing, or this T100 LT, but he's gonna die relatively quickly here. I am glad they buffed, or they restored it to a little bit of its former glory by upping the shell velocity for the APCR rounds to 1,525 meters per second, which is great. Don't know why I even attempted that shot. I guess I was just hoping for a miracle. The heat rounds remain at 1,000 meters per second, so that's not terrible. It's not the best, though, but it is going to be slower than your APCR because that's just how the game ammo works, and the high explosives, I don't know how fast those are. We're not going to talk about those a lot. However, you do now have 255 millimeters of penetration for your APCR rounds and 310 millimeters of pen for your premium heat ammunition. You can't really side scrape in this thing. I don't believe you can. Can you? Well, you know, I guess you can, but why is it showing up like you can't? Okay, never mind. Apparently you can't side scrape in it because it's showing you'll still get damaged even on a... Jesus Christ. Why? Okay. I would not side scrape in this thing. End of story. If you can get hull down, great. If you can't, just pop out when you feel safe to do so, or so you can at least trade damage with your... I don't know how this E4 bounced off me, but that was a miracle. But he was auto-aiming, and guess what, ladies and gents? He's going to fucking do it again, and ooh, that is quite unfortunate for him. He gets his head blown off because he's a fool. And instead of two-hitting me and killing me for being that reckless, he lost his head because I damaged his ammo rack and I fucking blew it up. So, fun times. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. You can trade in this thing, but not with Russian mediums. Like, that one should have went into the lower plate, that's fine. I'm doing my very best to angle here. If he aimed for my lower plate, he would not be bouncing these shots. It's a miracle that I'm even bouncing anything, because this guy is not the smartest of cookies, or just Super Conqueror players in general. And funny enough, he has better DPM than this vehicle. He can reload his gun in 6 seconds or some crazy shit like that. You get a whole whopping... Hold on, wait for it. 7.5 seconds for the reload for this 120mm gun. And that's... You can't do a lot with that. Yes, you can usually out-trade heavies by hitting them twice if you get penned once, but that's only if you have cover to fall behind right away, because otherwise you're going to get penned again, because this thing's armor is the bullshit. So I see that 705 to my right, and I think that people are going to take care of him no problem, so I'm going to go where all the HP is, which is this object 257, and then, what do? Of course I fucking track him. Because why not? And then he fixes it right away because he's got God knows how many repair kits. And I'm going to go ahead and hit his ass end with a heat round, I believe that was. And then I'm going to get dicked on by this Progetto 65. And I track him again because my accuracy sucks dick. And I'm not really aiming the best here. He does pen me, of course, naturally. I get a free pen into his lower plate. Miraculously, that goes in. I don't know how. I know his reload isn't that great. I just take kind of a luck shot here. He's angling very well around that corner. And then my team bumfucks him. Do I get one more pen? Maybe? Yeah, there you go. Free kill for me. I kind of blocked that TD behind me from finishing him off, but chances are he would have bounced or missed or something anyway. So, glad I took the kill. Felt like I deserved it. Felt like I did phenomenal for that game in this tank, especially considering it was a town map and I wasn't sniping. I was taking the brunt of it. No problem whatsoever, even against that E4. Granted, I was exceedingly lucky that he bounced both of his rounds off me. However, that still is not enough to net me a Ace Tanker Mastery. I'm going to put it in the profile, or the preview picture anyway, because I feel like if you get 4,000 damage in this tank, it's phenomenal. What do you need to 3-mark it? What do you need to 3-mark it? I'll get into that in just a second. But that is the first game. There's the stats for it. Let's get on to the next. Okay, we're going to be on Nomanhan Winter variant, which is, I think, the only variant it has now, because it's the only one I've been getting for weeks now. Let's see, what do you need to 3-mark this fucking medium piece of crap? You need 5,100 damage per game to 3-mark this thing, which means you're probably going to want to run optics, which is naturally a given for a tier 10 medium, a rammer, vents, and I would say the premium consumable, the croissants and tea or whatever the hell the French get for their premium consumable. What is the fire chance on this vehicle, you may ask, if you are indeed questioning that? Well, as a matter of fact, I can tell you in 3, 2, 1, what is the fire chance? It is a 10% chance to be set on fire. The gun elevation isn't great. You do get 410 view range. And I believe the camouflage factor is like 55 or something, or high 40s. So it's not terrible, but it's also not the best. I still think the object, whatever the rear turreted, I can just look that up actually. I still think the the K91 should have the best camouflage out of all the tier 10 Russian tanks. Why? 1, it's got a low profile. 2, it's got a rear mounted turret. And 3, it's not good at much else. Except for having 10 degrees of gun depression, I believe. We're not talking about that tank. I don't know why I'm bringing it up. But no, it's got 9. Well done. Okay, cool. But this vehicle, I said in one of my previous recordings, if I didn't delete it before I uploaded it, that it feels like this vehicle is slowed down a bit. Like, yes, they were... I don't know how that shot went in. Thank you, server lag, for working with me for once. But it just feels slow. It feels more sluggish than it did before they quote-unquote buffed it. Thank you, AutoAim, for working for me as well. Against that bat chat, do I think it's worth it? My other video says that it is. I still say I like the tank. I do like it. It's just more difficult to use, but naturally, since it is an underdog for pretty much the entirety of tier 10 mediums all around, I like it. I like the accurate gun, despite it having less DPM than other tier 10 medium tanks. What does the Patton get for DPM? 2,900, that's rounding down. And then let's go to France. for 1.6 patch in PC, and it says, okay, that's clearly a lie. It says the AMX 30B in patch 1.6 had 3100, of course rounding down DPM, but that is of course a lie. The pattern reloads every like 6 seconds, and well, 7 seconds with Cola and or gun ram or vents. I don't know. I'm a little rusty on the whole maxed out DPM side of things and reload times and all that, but I know it's fast as fuck for a 105mm gun, and I know that thing is a monster. How do I know? I've 3-marked it, and it was amazing, and I'm glad I never have to worry about playing that tank again in fear of ruining my 3 marks. So that's great. But yes, this tank is good at sniping. It's good for getting in shots quick, despite the kind of weird penetration that you get for being a tier 10 medium, but it's fine. If you're afraid you're not going to pen something, just load the 310 heat, and you're fine. E100 turrets, you're good. Mouse turret cheeks, load the heat, you're done. Lower plate, perfect. Type 5 and Type 4 heavies, again, heat. Success. Don't worry about it. Like, the only thing that differentiates this tier 10 medium tank from every other nationality is that a lot of people would say it sucks, and they're not wrong, but it's got a charm that I think you can only appreciate once you've played the vehicle. I don't quite know what it is besides having a super accurate gun, but maybe that's just it. But if you wanted a super accurate gun, then you might as well just go for the Leopard 1, because then at least you've got... I think that Leopard 1 is fast as fuck. I could be wrong. Patch 1.6 for the... I'm going to cough again. Could probably edit that out, but I'm too lazy to, so I might not. Apologies. It says the top speed is 65 kilometers an hour, but for the AMX 30B, I feel like on flat ground I don't go faster than 45, which is weird, but that's just my personal experience. Ignore those sounds. I accidentally clicked on my game capture, and I don't want that right now. So, Leopard 1, top speed is 70 kilometers an hour. Let's go to the most recent patch. Again, 70 kilometers an hour. Horsepower. Power to weight, 20.75 for the Leopard 1. And then, what do we got for patch 1.6 AMX 30B? Horsepower is 20. No, horsepower is 720, and then Leopard 1 gets 830. So maybe it's the horsepower problem? Maybe it just needs a little bit more horsepower to make that max speed easier to get to, or quicker, or something. I don't know. I try to get a free pen on this Jagdpanzer E100, but he's angling quite well to deter my shots from going in. So I load the heat, and hopefully I can get a free few shots into his side superstructure. But again, he's angling quite well. Maybe I could pen... No, that one bounced. Okay, I was going to say maybe I could pen his superstructure, but then I fucking ricocheted off. Which is weird, because it's heat, and heat isn't supposed to ricochet, so that's very weird, actually. Should have waited for that turnaround from the Jagdpanzer E100, but it's fine. My Death Star is YOLOing that 60 TP, which is great for him. I'm going to go in for support. And what I do here is amazing. And when I say amazing, it's going to be clear that I'm being sarcastic, because it just shows how bad RNG could fuck you sometimes. Like that last game, I bounced 2 E4 shots off my tank. Granted, he was probably auto-aiming and not a very good player. Let's just say it like that. But let's just see what I managed to do here. Easy shot in the ass end, and what do I do to track him? I bounce off his superstructure. Alright. Oh, thanks, RNG. And do I get the kill? No, the fucking E5 does. Yay, me. At least I didn't get artied, right, folks? That'll also put an end to your day really quickly, because if you do get artied in this thing, expect it to hurt a lot. Why do I say that? Well, the roof of this thing is 20 millimeters thick. The angled part of it in, like, the front turret nearest to the mantlet is only 45 millimeters thick. But, oh my god, it's only 15 millimeters thick on the roof of the chassis. That is ass. Yikes. Okay, yeah, don't side scrape in this vehicle. Yeah, just don't. You can't. You really can't. The armor model doesn't show it very well, but basically, they're shooting through a piece of your front to hit a very equalized piece of armor that is only 57 millimeters thick. Holy Christ! Yeah, don't side scrape in this thing. Just snipe and engage when you can. Sharply angling your front and using all that gun depression that's available to you. And if people are shooting directly at you, hope to Christ they're not aiming for that hatch, or hope they don't, and just try your best to DPM them to death, and hope that your 300 and your low 300 millimeter mantlet holds up, or they don't hit you in the turret. It's rough, I know, but it can't be that difficult to get 5,000 damage game. Oh my god, what am I saying? Of course it's going to be difficult, especially in this thing. You have no defenses. And everyone can do anything better than you, except for maybe your gun. But, like, ugh. The reload time isn't terrible, but it's certainly not up to par with other Tier 10 mediums. It just... make your shots count. How's that for, hopeful words of wisdom? I don't know. Don't know how I managed to bounce off that one, but that's fine. APCR loses its effect over long distances, and the server lag is unreal! I almost made a video just saying how... he got argued, that's fucking hilarious. I almost made a video on how I'm going to refuse to play higher tier vehicles until this fucking lag is sorted out. Because I do like World of Tanks, despite how outrageously toxic I get when I play it. But you can't go for marks in top tier vehicles. Not in today's meta or server status. It's unreal. And what does the Death Star aim at? He aims at the light tank and misses. Good for him. I didn't realize the light tank was that close to us, so that's my fault for not being more aware. But, like, why would he be focusing me down? Focus the fucking Death Star. Like, Jesus Christ. At least kill one of the guns that you're going up against. I really want to get that tank. That, Panzer. Run Metall Panzerwagen? Yes, that one. Looks like a very fun light tank. Almost as fun as the Sheridan. But, that's the end of 2 games. And both games I managed to get 6,500 damage or above combined. And I think that's hilarious. And a lot of both of them were base damage. So, I don't think I said that last sentence right. But it's fine. We're moving on. Still a first-class mastery. Once again, I'm going to put, God damn it, Ace Tanker medal in the preview picture. Because once again, I think I earned it. At least, if not for this game, then the previous game. Because it's really hard to do well in this thing. And if you do well in this thing, then you're going to excel no problem in playing other Tier 10 mediums, or just other tanks in general. It's, honestly, it's amazing how underwhelming this vehicle is. But you can make it work, and when you do, you can do great things. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay and my commentary, but I think you'll more appreciate the gameplay than that. And I'll catch you next time.